See this logo here? You can find this logo on YouTube Music, or go to my channel, the JTF SHOW Podcast, go to the podcast icon or playlist icon to see more podcast episodes easier. Welcome to the JTF SHOW Podcast. Now, here's your host, JTF. Before we continue, here's a word from my sponsors again. My sponsors are you guys, those who support me on PayPal or Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Everything's good, folks. Everything's fine. Nothing fell apart, really. Everything's fine. No, seriously, everything's good, folks. Everything's actually fine. RIL.
On kind of keeping yourself safe, some self-defense scenarios, being a more situational awareness, because a lot of people out there don't really even have the forethought sometimes until they find themselves in a bad situation. A lot of attacks are taking place with blunt force instruments right now.
Yeah.
So household items.
It's what's available.
They're not, because what's happening is not people going out necessarily saying, hey, I'm going to attack an Asian person, where they would have maybe a gun or even a knife. What's happening is maybe an Asian person says something that they don't like, and they take it as a racist attack. This is if you read somebody's stories, this has happened quite a bit. She said something anti-black, and they say, I didn't say anything anti-black. This is going on, and so they feel justified in eliciting a violent response. And so that's what I got. I got a brick, I got a hammer, and actually here's another one right now, which is a hammer. In New York City, Leslie Jones attacked 2 Asian women with a hammer.
For no reason, it looks like.
Well, they gave a poor review of Ghostbusters.
They should have.
Also, some people are just tired of life at this point, so they just want to really show it by hitting people with hammers, which is not good. And it's not justifiable, and it doesn't excuse their violent behavior.
Now, I want to note that this is, of course, not the first time that Leslie Jones has demonstrated anti-Asian hate. The power of pain compels you! Ah! Yeah.
Oh, gee.
And a
Horrible.
hammer.
We should have seen the...
If I'm correct, that is not her from the actual video, not from that movie or show or whatever that was. But everything's about race now, apparently. But,
There are two places,
it's not.
New York and anywhere in California, hellholes, both of them.
And Baltimore.
And Baltimore, that will tell you can't own a firearm. You know what would have defended those people from the guy with the brick? I don't care what you say to someone. You don't have the right to pick up a brick and start beating somebody with it. But you know what have protected them? Instead of, oh no, guys, we got to get him out of the store. Bang, 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 bang. Done.
What about
You're not going to beat me with a brick.
But what about Craig with Debo on Friday?
Debo!
Yeah. And bang, 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 bang.
Which
I
lived.
Find
another day. And I know that a lot of, I think we have this clip here. I know. So this isn't, I want you to understand that this is an outlier. This is an exception to the rule where sometimes you can take your crab or crane stance to defend yourself. Slim chance of it working, but I want you to see when it does. Look, that's just a wow. Power.
And I think it says newsmakers, okay? Asians just do this, but people hate this trick. Man, it starts with an R and ends with an M, folks. It's right. It's racism. Like, what else do you need to say?
Look, that's just a wow. Powerful, dude. And by the way, that's
You
not
guys
that it
saw
worked.
me do that?
No, he got lucky.
It's not that it worked. It's that the gentleman attacking him was incredibly confused. That's all it is. If you watch that whole, this is like 15 years old.
Confused, no, did you?
The guy just goes, all
With
right.
racism.
Goes, come on, let's go. He goes, all right. And he stands like this. And all of a sudden, you just see the guy backing up. He's like, I ain't even that mad, though. All right, so we're going to start this and show you what would be appropriate to do in a situation with an attacker like this. Smooth Manny, do we have who's
Come
coming
on in.
Yeah, who's coming? Come on in.
Oh, there he is, powerful.
Yeah.
All right, there.
Okay.
That's a
If he answers yes, I think we should.
He also
Yeah.
got fired
All right,
because
so
Stephen
you're definitely
Crowder
allowed
did
to
something
kick him once he's
weird.
down.
You're
You
seeing
know
a
how
lot
that
of this
works.
happening with blunt force instruments, right? You're seeing this happen with bricks. Here, you can give me the knife. I wanted
Like
to
a mallet?
I paid for many, many years of self-defense as a kid,
Yeah.
and ultimately would just get my ass kicked
Well,
because
that's
they
good.
would teach you useless crap.
Right.
With a knife, your only option is to run.
Can I ask a serious question?
Most of the
Is Joe
time, that's
Lewis-
true. Or if you know what to do, try to go under. Maybe not, because they'll just stab you right there in the back. So try to do the whoosh, whoosh, you know, in the movies a little bit, or just run. If they can throw the knife, pray that they miss. You know, Jesus Christ, maybe. But at that point, unless if you just know what you're doing, just live to fight another day. Live to fight.
Are you
another
okay
day,
with
folks.
this?
Probably not, but he'll be fine.
Don't worry, he'll attack you.
The issue with a
No,
knife
he
is
loves
run,
me.
right? If someone's trying to attack you with a knife,
Right.
run, because here's the thing. People tell you can defend yourself against a knife. It doesn't require any inertia. This is a bleed out. This is a bleed out. This is a kill. Okay?
Yeah.
People need to understand you have a better chance against someone with a gun than doing
Like,
it.
listen. At this point, I would say, listen, you don't have to watch it, but at least watch this part, because this, you know, this is truthful. Okay, at best, the best thing Crowder ever did is to let people know how to do self-defense correctly. All right, that's the best thing Crowder's
They're
got
there,
for
they
him,
slice you
especially
no matter
now.
what. Now, it changes when it's a brick or a hammer, because it's a
Oh,
blunt
yeah.
force instrument. So what does that require? Requires inertia.
Motion.
Yeah.
And so now what people need to do first
True,
off,
because a knife you just do that, but with a hammer or a brick, you know, if you don't know the secret technique of it, which I'm not going to tell you on YouTube, point is, it takes a lot more effort to do that. So you can punch, kick, whatever, do swip, tackle. With a knife, it's a lot harder because it's more versatile.
thing you can do is run away. But inertia
True.
requires movement.
You can run away, or what he's about to say, you can do something else.
Hitting right at the extension, right, of that sort of momentum,
Yeah.
that blow. So that's what you want to avoid. People out there who haven't gone to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, I recommend that you go, or Judo. They teach you sort of distance and timing, maybe sometimes even some karate. So what you would have to do here...
Or just go to a self-defense class, or just watch stuff on YouTube. That'll be pretty good as well if you can't afford that, but you can't afford YouTube somehow.
treat Manny
So-
like he's George Foreman.
Okay.
In other words, he doesn't have a knockout blow, but he does with a hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? He's Mario circa Donkey Kong, whatever year that was.
True.
So what you want to do is you don't want to get... If I can get into boxing range, you see people talking about this on... You see this on YouTube, right? They're
Yeah.
like, what I'm going to do, look, is I'm going to jab, and I got Tiger Claw and Monkey Fist, where you're going to...
Those are the bad YouTube videos. Like this one. Not mine, Stephen
Either get
Crowder's.
away completely...
At least, minus this part, everything else is basically trash to a point.
Or...
Except for the DC thing.
close that distance. So I don't want to be in punching range. What I want is to keep him away from me until
True.
I close. So this is where I would use my leg, my lead leg, because I know that he's not in punching
Right.
range. Now I'm not
Yeah.
talking about...
True, but he might be able to know how to your legs. So maybe the best case scenario, depending on the weight, and this is high stakes situation, very fast paced, just run, live to fight another day. If you don't know how to do stuff, don't do it. But if you kind of do, you might want to do a little bit maybe of a tackle or a sweep. I'll try to do it in demonstration. This is the person with the hammer. This is me. Okay. What I'm going to do is, he's going to try to hit. Maybe I do that, then I go behind him and try to do something like a chokehold or something like that, or some things of that nature. This is basically just a self-defense lesson video at this point. So you're welcome, people. I work out sometimes. Not really at all at this point, but I got some muscle. Either that, or maybe try to get him on the leg there. You see sometimes with WWE, there's like a, cover your ears, children. It's fake. So, you can open your ears now. You can do that now, folks. But, maybe you see that, or, basically it's a fight or flight situation. If you don't know what you're doing, really, just run. If you do know what you're doing, do what you can. And of course, call 911 before you run, or after you run, in a sense, or as you're running, call 911, possibly, depending on the situation. If you're doing self-defense, call 911. Because depending on how things work, there's got to be an explanation.
Boom, question mark kick, anything
Justice,
like that. Nothing
if you
fancy. It's a push kick. As he comes in, right, I push off his hip. Right now, I've got a bad knee, so
Or a push
Yeah,
kick.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
hit
we don't
you
want
know?
to hit
But you want to kick him away, keep him at distance, step back so you know you're not in that range.
Yeah.
Get
True.
away if you can. If you can.
And if they're still going to try to hit you, even though you did the kick, then you do, well, bam, maybe. Not a Superman punch, but something. Maybe a punch or a kick or run away, or, like I did, something like that. Or hit them where it hurts between the legs. If they're a guy. If you don't know they're a guy, well, you know.
Say you're in a store, like happened with the ladies with the guy with the brick.
Right.
So I can't get distance. I can't run away. If it's a knife, you're screwed. Don't care what the Krav Maga guys tell you. You can't fight. You're done. Guy with a knife beats a guy without a knife. If we're in a store, what do I need to do? Do I want to be right here? No. I want to watch that wind up, stay out, miss at least once. I'm probably going to get hit and come in and now close it. Because look, less inertia with the hammer.
It's true, you don't have anything to do with that. And don't go WWE-like and try to do that. Just try to pin them down or, again, call 911. That's the first thing you should do before anything else. Before the fight begins, call 911. Boom. So whatever happens,
And this is where we can go into, you need to start training and grappling. Some kind of, hey, Joe Louis, it's fine.
It's all good. Well, and Stephen, a good point here is that you're not necessarily going to get out unscathed.
No,
but
you're
at least you're not going to get the knockout blow.
Joe Louis is their dog, which I think he also fired because he decided he didn't want to mate, so,
Right.
By having some distance.
This is why I would say using this push kick to keep them away is not going to do anything with a knife because they can still cut.
Right.
They can cut, and I'm going to bleed out no matter what.
That's true.
But with a brick, with the good side to this is they're going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be telegraphing. Like if you watch Leslie Jones, everything was like, yeah! And in which case, just a little bit of head movement, and then learn how to keep yourself safe once you clinch them up, tie them up. Really simple ways. You go over, under, boom, once I get in, and tie them up, just like a clinch right here. See?
Yeah.
I have an overhook. Well, it's now, he might hit my back with a hammer, but it's not nearly as bad of a knockout blow. You can go for a takedown if you want at this point.
You might break your back, you might not break your back based on what I know of. You're not going to break your back because, again, there's not that much strength there anymore, so you're good to go.
Learn how to handle them on the ground, but the most important thing is getting away. In that case in New York, you know what I saw?
Yeah.
Scaffolding.
Oh, yeah. Use that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Use that. Put that between you and the attacker.
Like do some Spider-Man stuff and like jump up and...
No, don't jump up. Get around it. You know what I mean? Get around and do this. Right? Like the old pirate clock. On the old, what is it? The old pirate...
Yeah, you do the thing, you do that, and they go to the other way, then you're there, and and then you just fight to, or run to survive. Run, hide, fight, not the movie, but the actual technique. Not the weird, terrible schizo post movie, but the actual technique.
Unless you're in a municipality where they've defunded the police, in which case, kiss your ass goodbye. So, we're going to continue with some of this.
Or at least live to fight another day. I'm going to read my comments. It's like every single violent situation that can arise, Crowder is like, just get a gun, and it sometimes, not all the time, like he did with self-defense, so not all the time, it's going to make it better. It's not going to cause more violence, because violence plus violence equals peace. Sometimes that's true, like war. It equals de-escalation. No, go to a karate class instead of a gun store. Not saying that you can't shoot people, but maybe try to de-escalate without having to shed blood, because when you shoot somebody, that usually doesn't go away. It doesn't, and sometimes that's a small price to pay, depending on the situation. I haven't shot a person, but I have shot a pistol, rifle, and shotgun. And if I'm correct, I still have that card from scouting that I think I'm NRA approved or whatever, or something like that. Pretty much, I got a license. Not really a license, but I forgot what it was. But it was basically, I can use that for a license, I think. I don't know. But, that's great, NRA, maybe I'm not a big fan of, but, I did qualify in a sense. But neither here nor there. If I had to sue a person, that would take a lot of time to move on in a sense of a way. So when you think about it, it would be better in some cases to de-escalate the violence due to the environments that you're in. it wouldn't be better to go to a karate class or self-defense class, not just a gun shop, maybe do both, do the long distance and short distance de-escalation, and also not saying guns can't de-escalate things, but it can usually cause more escalation and violence, because a gun is a tool that's meant to destroy something or someone. It's the only tool that's meant to really destroy, not really fix. Unlike any other tool that's meant to fix and not destroy. So, you gotta look at that. It's a tool, but it's meant for destruction, which is very unique for tools, like driving, with the car, you should have a license. You should be experienced. You should be a responsible gun owner with a safe or something. A gun lock, at least. And the key that you only have or somebody who you really, 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 really trust to have another key for that gun lock. So the only reason why you didn't like the 2016 Ghostbusters is because it was all women. I forgot when he said that. I don't think he said that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually his opinion. And women are bad, seriously. Is that like the main problem of the movie? Nobody says that what people do say the main problem with the 2016 Ghostbusters movies is because it was trying to push and shove agendas in the movie, which it might have been. I haven't watched it, and I might never will, because Like, I'm not watching the recent Left Behind movie, because Maybe because it has a lot of propaganda stuff in it, but And it was terrible in general. Yes, if I'm correct, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie was terrible. It was just terrible. If it was all men, it would still be bad. Actually, it would have. It'd still be bad. Of course, it was 2016, so yeah, why does it always have to be about sex and gender? And I know they're sexist, but come on. Come on. You could have done something better, but that is Steven Crowder for you guys. So, prayerfully he does change to be a better person in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Hey, real quick, if you want to dedicate your life to Christ, aka get saved, or if you're a backslider and want to rededicate your life to Christ, or if you want the baptism of the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking with tongues, those prayers are in the description down below. When it's